y'all? I want to make sure first that y'all can hear me first before we even get into anything. This is a very important topic I want to discuss. All right, bet. So y'all can hear me. Cool. All right, look. So number one, we going hot right out the gate with it. Okay, very important topic that we're talking about today. Um, and I might do this often. I might do this more, but I thought that it's important for me to share, like I've already promised several times. I want to be able to share my mindset with you guys, but also the mentality, right? Um, I actually had something interesting cross my desk, and also just out of experience, um, I had a guy. I was on the road today. A guy was selling waters right in front of shop. Right. Then I saw a guy selling drinks in front of a Walmart, I believe it was. And if you're somebody that's in Philly or in any type of urban area, you probably see people selling items on the side of the road. We have people selling mangoes, watermelons, tamales, a bunch of different things, right? In California, they sell tacos. I want to, and I know it's probably a little confusing on why I'm talking about this, but trust me, I'll break it down. For some reason, TikTok isn't working. I'm gonna break it down for you. Every hustle is not even that. Every idea is not a hustle, right? And I think that a lot of people they misconstrue the concept of making money, and try to just throw anything at the wall and then I guess repeat anything that sticks. That's why a lot of people find themselves quitting. A lot of people find themselves running in circles and cycles. I think that if I was someone talking to somebody else trying to develop a business or even a side hustle, I think it's more so about how many times you get back up after falling and also understanding what you got to sacrifice. And I put out a video yesterday on Hustler Taught Me about the things I had to sacrifice: time with kids, I had to sacrifice relationships, I had to sacrifice just losing parts of myself, because it does require you to shed a lot of baggage that you may have been carrying, because you're coexisting with different people of different places, right? Because you cannot successfully run a business on your own. But what happens when you're that person out there just trying to make it so bad that you're willing to sell anything, right? We're talking about people selling fake products. And see, there's a difference between generic and fake, clones, fake, right? There's a difference, okay? Fake is when you are selling an item that looks like that item that is already branded and it actually has the brand on it as well, but it's not necessarily that company's product. So if these Ray-Ban glasses were fake, they would still say Ray-Ban, but they would not be Ray-Ban glasses. They would create a false expectation with the customer. A lot of you guys are out there doing it. I have several conversations with a bunch of people that watch me that sell fake things, not generic, fake. And they feel as though it's going to get them a quick dollar, so they're willing to commit to doing it, not realizing that them actually cashing out, getting a payout is not guaranteed. And this crossed my mind today. I'm driving and I see a guy selling waters right in front of Shop Right First, like I mentioned before. And I thought to myself, I looked him in his eye as I passed, and I kind of chuckled to myself because I'm thinking to myself, like, do you think that you're actually hustling? And some people actually think that that's hustle. Now, where is the supply and demand in that? Well, one could say the supply and demand is people are on a go, so he's in the street handing out cold ice waters. Okay, that is a demand, right? Like maybe they are rushing to work, forgot the water on the counter at their house, and they're willing to pay you $1 for it. Great. Let's say this person does stand in the middle of the street. It's a lesson in this, so please pay attention. He stands in the middle of the street for 6 hours, and what does a normal case of water have? Like 24, right? So he makes what? $24, I guess, right? He spent probably $5 for the bottles of water, the case, and then he makes $24, right? In 6 hours. Or maybe he has multiple cases. Maybe he makes, let's just put it even up. Maybe he makes $100, okay? Great. If he makes $100, he stands outside in the heat and sells these bottles of water. Is that necessarily a hustle? Well, that's where I think there's a real big lesson that a lot of entrepreneurs, hustlers need to know, right? Understand the difference between you making money and money making you. My mom used to tell me, and trust me, my mom has told me a lot of things in life that I kind of don't follow nor appreciate. But my mom told me something and it always sticks with me. And I'm so happy she told me this. She said, Brandon, this is ever since I was really, really young. She said, Brandon, you can either sit in the office and make money, or you can use your body to make money. You could do labor work to make money. Which one do you want to do? And she used to tell me that when I had like bad grades or when I wasn't listening in school. That was like her way of saying, if you don't listen, you're going to be doing hard labor. And I remember this because I never understood what the problem was in that. Well, I have friends that are contractors. I have friends that are painters. I have friends that are professional basketball players. I have friends that do a bunch of physical work, right? I have a plumber friend, prime example. I have a friend that does security. I have a bunch of friends and connections that do use their physical bodies, and they're on a time limit, right? And maybe you watching me, you're on a time limit too. You know, I had a chance to actually play basketball in a professional setting, but really young, I realized my body wouldn't be able to withstand the type of effort that I would put in, right? I went to school. I was the type of player that liked to jump and dunk and stuff that wears on your knees. It hurts your body. So in high school, I had jumper's knee, right? I had tendonitis and it would hurt when I would like jump and stuff. But I had college scholarships. And I remember my mom telling me, even though she's never come to one game, never talked to one scout, telling me, you better go to college. And I didn't, because one, the things that were required of me, I wasn't willing to do, because I knew my body would not be able to hold on longevity wise, right? I knew the longevity of my body would suffer. I probably would be able to have fun and go in dorms and do my thing, but it just wasn't something that I felt would help me in the future. Now, let's go back to the guy with the water. You're standing in a hot ass sun selling waters when somebody can go into a cool supermarket and buy the waters themselves. It's not fucking hustle. It's not hustle. That instead is someone that is trying to make money, and I would just say doing gig work. What's wrong with gig work? Well, that's where we go to our next point. If you are somebody that does Lyft, you do Uber, you do DoorDash, you do any of these platforms, and I've done them. And I have friends that do them currently, and they have one problem. They remain in one cycle over and over and over again. I'll give you an example. One of my really good friends, right? I kind of ignore his calls sometimes because I'm tired of hearing the same cycle that I'm about to explain to you guys, is a DoorDash driver. And what he does is he delivers DoorDash to people. If you don't know what DoorDash is, it's the food service that you pick up the food, drop it off to people, people can order, right? So let me explain to you why this also is not hustle. Because what you're doing is you're utilizing a vehicle, a car, right? You're also utilizing your time. Your car is wear and tearing, your body is wear and tearing, and you're doing this throughout the day. But the problem is the expenses are always going to override the income. So he'll tell me, yo, B, I just made 150 today, but about 70 had to go into the tank. And then I had to do this, I had to eat. And it ends up him coming out with $30 profit. It's the same exact thing when it comes with the water. It's the same exact thing when it comes to you selling fake things. I'm not saying any of this to discourage anybody from doing gig work or selling waters on the side of the road. What I am trying to say, though, is we also have to utilize our minds to realizing these are temporary things to make money, not things to actually build and grow with. So this guy that I'm talking about, forgive me for talking about you, bro, if you're watching this, right? He tells me I'm going to get me an apartment. And I'm like, all right, bet. Now, how much bread you got saved up? This is all true. 100% facts, okay? He said, he said, I got $120. I said, $120? Yeah. But no, we gonna get it, bro. Like, I'm really about to start hustling. I'm gonna try to do this joint all night. Listen, guys, understand there's always a ceiling when you are working for someone. Always a ceiling. And when gig work first started out, I remember actually attempting to do gig work, whether it's for a video or whatever. And I would always realize there was always a plateau, but there's always an algorithm. And there's also always a stipulation. You get tired, you get frustrated, you get bad orders, and sometimes you burn out. Well, if we're being honest, there's a difference between hustling and surviving. Okay? A lot of people, they hit the internet, they go on YouTube, TikTok, sometimes even Instagram, and they try to find solutions to the problem, which is them having to keep grasping on the survival. How many of us right now can't afford to go on a trip and pay for ourselves to go, right? Like wherever you want to go, right? Because I was thinking about this morning too. Wherever you want to go. Say you want to go to Barbados, you want to go to Turks, you want to go to China, wherever. Can you afford it? Right? You're probably like, no. But what if we had the mindset of, all right, you get paid $2,000 every check every 2 weeks, right? You could afford it then, right? You could, right? Here's the problem. We think with the mindset of, okay, I want something. Can I afford it? And if I can afford it, great. But we don't really realize is, well, if I can afford it, is my affording actually something that I can rely on? Or is it something that, okay, I could just spend $2,000 going to China and come back and had to bust my ass again? Or, prime example, with DoorDash, Lyft, or selling waters on the side of the road, yeah, you'll make $100 standing out there in the hot sun, or you'll make $100 doing DoorDash, or even $150 doing Lyft, or whatever. But at the end of the day, after your expenses, after you sit there and hurt your body, right? What really do you have, right? There's always going to be a loss when you are relying on someone else's services and then trying to call it your own hustle. Okay? The guy standing in the middle of the street with the water right outside of ShopRite. There's a ShopRite right in front of you, bro. Right? What you should do instead is you should put some fucking water in a jug, make some nice ass concoction, lemonade or something, sell it that way. Because what you're doing to me is you're just regurgitating something I can already access for a cheaper price in bulk. If I'm a consumer, if I'm rushing, I probably will buy it from you. But then you have to think about the time you're sitting out there, cars that are passing you. What is the average conversion rate, right? These are things that you have to think about. So my main message to everybody today is stop getting lost in how much money you're making. And I want you to start focusing on how much time you actually have to yourself. How much time you're saving, because a lot of us, we start thinking that money is value, and it's not. Money's not value. That's not it. Now, I'm going to break down something to you that a lot of bosses don't tell employees. Okay. And a lot of bosses don't tell employees this, including myself, because they want employees to work with them. And I've said this before. I used to love having my store short staffed because that one person sitting in my store would never have time to surf on Indeed. They would never have time to look for another job. And also I would finesse them because what would happen is I would say, "Oh man, Bobby, he's not doing the job right. So I'm going to let Bobby go and I'm going to give you all his hours. Are you willing to commit that? How many hours? Well, I'll give you an extra 20 hours a week. I'll come in to fill in like 2 days, but I want you to stay the majority." You want to know every single time I asked somebody that what they said? They said yes, every single time. But what they didn't realize is you're making more money hourly or even salary, but you're losing more time. So while you're in the store working for me and I'm paying you, you're making me money, you're relieving me of my duty of wasting my time going into the store. And instead, you're wasting your time that you'll never be able to get back. And I'm out doing my thing, doing whatever I need to do. So here's the difference. Your time is the true value, not the money. A person that has more time will always be richer than a person that has more money because there's no more frustrating feeling than having a good ass job, making a good ass amount of money, but not being able to spend it, right? Or not being able to enjoy it. You ever have a job where you're trying to go on vacation and they just won't approve it yet? Or maybe you do go on that vacation, but they're not giving you the PTO, or they don't give you the PTO unless you work a certain amount of hours. You want to know why? Because every single person inside of any type of organization has money on their head, right? It's called headcount. I'm sure you managers out there have heard of this, right? Headcount matters. Each individual inside of a building, in a business, any employee has to generate a business a certain amount of money in order for me to pay for your insurance, in order for me to give you PTO, all of these things. It's all a breakdown, okay? A job is meant to rob you of your time, give you what you deem is valuable, which is money, and then in exchange, relieve the person that did all the hard work to create this thing so they can either move on and make another business, sell the one you're working at, and continue to grow and build their financial wealth while also still having the most important thing, which is time. See, a lot of us, we don't understand the concept of hustle. Hustle is not about making fucking money. And that's where I think, like, when I have conversations with younger individuals that are looking to build and grow, all they talk about is money. They don't talk about time. They don't talk about the fact that, see, having that time, and I want you to think about it, because somebody out here thinks I'm wrong. Having that time, this is my claim. And I want you to try to debunk it in your head. Having time is way more valuable than having money in any circumstance. In any circumstance. Because if I have time, I have something that I can never reclaim back. I also have something where I can continue to try and find solutions for other things, other avenues, right? And I don't have to worry about having that fear of being let go, having that fear of fucking up, right? I can do what the fuck I want to do. So, if you're out there right now and you're working a job, there's nothing wrong with that. I do not want anybody to think that I'm saying a job is bad. A job is needed for you to be successful, 100%. Kimberly, thank you. Exactly. A job is needed 100%. But the problem is when people come to me, I'll sit down and interview. The first thing I say when I want to hire somebody, I'll be like, "Hey, how are you? I'm good." We talk about the little interview questions, and then you say this to the person. You say, "So, how much were you looking to get paid?" And this is the best question to ask somebody. You want to know why? Because people always devalue themselves. Because you even have people like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a job and get a bigger salary." No matter how much you tell me you're worth, one, I probably can pay you that, but I gotta work you more. Right? And you're going to end up broke regardless. And you might be like, what you mean, B? How am I end up broke? Let me explain. You're going to end up broke because the more money people get in a check, the more they increase their lifestyle. Most people, not everybody. Most people. That's why most people with the poor mindset, which we all have had at times, right? So let's say I'm getting paid 70K a year, right? All right, cool. And let's say I went from a 40K a year job. You might think I'm gonna stay in that apartment. I'm gonna stay wearing the same clothes, right? No, that's not gonna happen. The more your money increases, the more the poor mindset thinks to themselves before they even get the mother freaking check, what I'm gonna spend it on. What I'm gonna spend this shit on. Just like the DoorDash driver, the Lyft driver, the Uber driver, the Uber Eats driver, the Postmate and Grubhub and all of those people, a lot of individuals already have money spent before they actually make it, which makes them broke because when they get the money, it's already spent, or they already have accumulated too many bills to where they can't get out of the red. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because I've been in it. I've been in that situation, right? I've been in that situation, and I was thinking about that today, and I said, yo, I got to go live because I think that this is the type of information I have with like my friends. Like friends that I talk to on a regular, we usually have this type of discussion. And when I'm talking to them about it, they usually have good rebuttals, but they go back to doing the same shit. They go back to doing the same exact stuff, being broke. And being broke has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with time. Yo, bro, let's take our kids to Disney this year or whatever, right? Bro, I can't because I got to do overtime because I'm trying to make this, and that, right? See, those type of people will never, ever, ever, ever get out of the hole because they're too busy believing that the overtime is going to make them more money so they don't have to spend time. But see, overtime is supposed to be the thing that catches you up, right? Bills keep coming every month, right? Job stresses you out, right? You become stressed just in life, relationships, and things that you got going on, right? See, please don't ever in your life think that the hustle is really the money. The hustle is going to always be the time. It's going to always be the time. And if I was to be sitting across from anybody that's fucking tired, bro, tired of, I don't want to say being broke, but tired of feeling like they're just in a cycle, right? You wake up, you do your daily routine, right? You go to bed, do it over and over. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Well, see, in your daily routine, you're supposed to be working on yourself as well, right? And that could be working on something that actually is a hustle, something that you can control. I have a guy, he's a next door neighbor of mine. He paints. He's old as hell, right? But he paints, right? And he sells his paintings, but he also works. But he still has some type of income coming in and some value that is extracted from him, which grants him more time. Now you might be saying, well, how is that getting him time, B? Well, because when his job says that he's too old and he needs to get the hell out, right? And they make an excuse and say, oh, we're just cutting staff and da-da-da, right? He'll still be able to have some type of value to spew out to some type of consumer to regain some type of inventory or some type of income, let's say, right? If we're talking just in consumer terms. So like when you hear me like talk about on my YouTube channel about like dumb shit like this, right? This is one of the dumbest products I've ever built. I mean, I said built. Bro, this is the dumbest products I've ever brought in my life. Like dumbest products ever. Okay? They don't do nothing but be soft. That's it. Okay? That's it. Right? But I have my kids buy these so they can sell them to teach them what I'm saying now, which is you're not worth shit if you don't have anything that people view as valuable that is not dictated on your job or dictated on someone that can control you. Okay? And it's very important that whoever is listening hears this. because sometimes we can get distracted because we're comfortable. Sometimes, when people be like, oh, I'm getting too comfortable, you got to realize what being comfortable means, right? Being comfortable doesn't mean that, it doesn't have to always mean that you're just happy or sitting back, chilling. It's not necessarily what comfortable is. You want to know what comfortable really is? Comfortable is being okay and compliant with being treated, being given, having access to things that are less than what you actually deserve. So being comfortable could be the fact that you work a 9-to-5 job and you've been working there for a year, 2 years, and you've worked on nothing within your individual self, but you've been busting your ass for Tom, Bob, Harry, and Janet. And you've been getting paid the same exact salary or hourly, and you're doing nothing for yourself. Comfortable. Comfortable is, hey, I'm going to pay you every 2 weeks this amount. Is that okay? Yes. Comfortable. Hey, I'm going to pay you $70K a year. Okay, great. I'll just show up and do my hours and leave and go party. Comfortable. 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 I think it's not anybody's fault. It's the way we were conditioned, right? In school, they say go to school at this time. We go to school at this time. Go to this class, that class, da da da. You have your own little itinerary of what you do throughout that day. They hammer having a schedule into us, which is good, but they make it to the point to where